Each pilot is already practiced in formation flying, but now he has a lot more power and performance, right up to Mach 2. Each mission flown provides extra knowledge and experience in the handling of fast jet fighters and fosters good cooperation. Eventually, at the end of the course, the successful pilots are ready for their first assignment to an operational unit of the gigantic force called frontal aviation, where most aircraft are painted in various low visibility colors. This MiG-21 Gate Guardian commemorates a Soviet pilot who rammed his aircraft into an intruding plane. Beyond the gate is a frontal aviation base in the giant region of Siberia in the Far East. One of its officers is Anatoly Yuchuk, younger son of wartime bomber pilot David. Anatoly Yuchuk's regiment is equipped with the MiG-21 BIS, many thousands of which have been built for the Soviet frontal air forces. Carrying on where his father left off, Anatoly teaches his pilots how to navigate and how to win in air combat. Frequent flights are made with pairs of aircraft, usually carrying UV-1657 unguided rocket pods. Pilots are instructed on how to attack ground targets with unguided rockets, and also with the twin 23mm internal cannon. In the air combat role, the MiG-21s often fire the K-13A missile, which homes by sensing the infrared emissions from the target's tailpipe. The CO from the Far Eastern republics gives a lesson in interception tactics and the absolute need to be master of one's aircraft. Using a model of the swing-wing MiG-23, he explains the next task set his pupils. They will climb to 5,000 meters and fly at 600 kilometers per hour before, on command, performing a half roll followed by a half loop back to level flight. Whenever possible, pupils walk through the entire mission on a plot marked out on the airfield, each student representing the relative position of his aircraft. Then, the big hangar doors are opened, and pupils and instructors taxi out in their MiG-23U trainers. Each capable of over Mach 2, the MiG-23U is one of the most common combat trainers of Soviet frontal aviation. They take off in pairs down a runway whose size matches the vastness of the country. Climbing for altitude, pupils and instructors know that on this mission they need not wear oxygen masks. They are going to practice the interception of hostile aircraft at medium altitude. Nothing very demanding, but to the inexperienced pilot, the sheer power and complexity of the aircraft poses a real challenge. Now, in the far west of the Soviet Union, more than 5,000 miles away from his younger brother, we find a frontline regiment of frontal aviation commanded by Viktor Yachuk. Armed with the UV-1657 and UV-3257 rocket launcher, their aircraft is another version of the MiG-23, the 23MF. The aircraft's GSH-23L twin-barrel cannon are serviced and armed before each mission. In the locker room, the pilots dress for action. Today, their ordnance will include the simple K-13A air-to-air missile with an infrared homing head. As usual, Viktor Yachuk will lead the aircraft detailed for this practice mission. Between them, the aircraft will carry several hundreds of the 57mm rockets, which can be fired in any kind of weather, day or night. Fuel is always important, and the tower quickly gives clearance for successive takeoffs, using full afterburner. More aircraft of this type are serving in frontline regiments than any other combat aircraft in the world. The CO and his wingman head for the designated combat zone in aircraft 46 and 55. Each is able to reach Mach 1.2 at sea level, a speed not exceeded by any other aircraft in service anywhere. Some NATO critics have suggested that the MiG cannot maneuver very well. They have likened it to a juggernaut truck or a supertanker. It should be remembered, however, that the Soviet Union does not have a reputation for mass-producing anything that does not do its job. To suggest otherwise is simply to fly in the face of history. Even at low level, these frontline pilots always wear oxygen masks.